this is Merideth Nagel again today, and we are here for our Ask the Expert series. Without further ado, I'm so glad to introduce Connie Mahan. Connie Mahan Real Estate Group is the official name of her company. Not only does she sell property, she also runs a property management company. So if you are considering purchasing a piece of investment property to rent out, or if you're looking for that or already have one, get in touch with her. She provides those excellent service as well. So Connie, thank you for joining us.
Hey Meredith, thank you for hosting this video and for wanting to spend some time talking together.
Absolutely. So most people, when they hear Sumter County, they kind of have two divergent ideas, right? They know that somehow the Villages is involved. Yep. And then they have a picture of just, more rural areas. So talk to me, I think maybe, and you'll answer this question, but I'm thinking maybe they're kind of two different animals. So let's put the Villages aside till kind of the end of this conversation and talk about the rest of Sumter County. What have you seen happening as a result of the COVID crisis?
So that is absolutely true about how people see Sumter County. Whenever I go, for an expo or a conference or anything out and about, and they say, "Where is Sumter County? What is Sumter County?" I say, we're directly in the middle, an hour from Tampa and Orlando, but we still have more cows than people. So
is that true, or is that just something y'all say?
I think it's true. I need to go tomorrow. I'll go do a cow count. So
it's a lot of cows.
Exactly. What we have in Sumter County is still a lot of green space, and obviously development is going to come our way, but it's still an area where you can be an hour from those communities, for work or other things you may need, but still be able to have a little bit of extra space, reasonable taxes, and just, I think, a much quieter, more still kind of way of life.
Right.
But to your question specifically, what has happened to our market since COVID? So right when COVID rolled out, obviously everybody stopped. I think everybody was obviously scared. We didn't know what was going to happen. I'm not saying that COVID is not serious, but that immediate fear just kind of stopped everything. I mean, we had showing stuff, of course. We stopped. I mean, we shut our office on the 13th of March and just held our breath, because we didn't know what the next step was going to be. Through that process, luckily for us in real estate, we do our stuff kind of outside. I mean, yes, we go into people's houses, but we don't have to meet at the office. So we were able to still keep our current deals going. We were still having conversations with people about, possibly going to market, or, were they still going to be able to buy a house? Some people didn't know, well, are we still going to be able to buy? When yes, right, of course you are. We just had to get past that initial scary spot. And I'd say probably, and then obviously we had our shutdown orders on April 1st. And then that, for us in here in Sumter County and in the state of Florida, since real estate was considered essential, it didn't really affect us too much, which is, I mean, selfishly was great, because we still got to go out and meet people and, do our job. But we did do it, we wore masks. We didn't really use gloves. We sanitized before going into somebody's house and sanitized coming out. But we took all the precautions that we needed to take, I think, as best we could in order to try to keep everybody safe.
So as we're heading, I think, tell me if you agree, it seems like people, the spigot of is opening up a little bit. People are a little less anxious. I'm seeing some more contracts going through. What are you thinking that we're going to be looking for, let's say, this summer in Sumter County?
Well, for us, it was kind of crazy, because we even right at the beginning, obviously it just stopped, it slowed down. But then that first week right after, it's been busier than ever.
That's great.
Contracts are still coming through. I mean, we've probably closed six transactions in the last 2-3 weeks with you guys. We took 4 listings to market in a week and got 3 of them under contract full price like that. So for us in Sumter, and I know we were going to leave the villages to the last, but for us in Sumter, the villages is such an economic driver for our community, because it's jobs, it's restaurants, it's retail, it's all that stuff, that as long as they continue to be strong, and the concern was that obviously they're a community of older individuals, so they were at risk, let's say. So, of course, the concern is to keep everybody safe and healthy. But if our biggest economic driver is the villages and that somehow got affected, that was really going to make a difference in our market.
Right.
But seeing as that luckily they did exactly what they were supposed to do and have remained healthy and, are doing well, for us, and I say this and I always kind of like cross my fingers behind my back, but we're kind of insulated in our market. There are other markets where there are less essential services. Well, everybody has essential services, not what I mean. I guess what I'm saying is in our market, most of our people are essential. Our stores had to stay open. Our medical had to stay open. Yes, teachers weren't going to school, but they're still working. So in our market, we don't have a lot of, I don't necessarily know that we saw the layoffs and the unemployment issues that other markets have seen. So
great. That's great.
yeah, exactly. So for us, I don't, that's why I say that we're kind of insulated, and I'm positive about our economic future and real estate future here, because I don't see those challenges that other markets have.
So are you feeling good that this summer would be a good time to buy or sell a property? I don't want to ask you, put words in your mouth, but tell us about the summer.
No, it's okay. I should have answered your question when you asked it. Sorry. I'll go on a real estate tangent. Well, yes. So from a seller standpoint, we're having very real conversations with sellers to say, we don't necessarily know what the future brings, but we know what the numbers say right now. And the numbers say right now that market value is very strong. That buyer confidence in real estate, at least in Central Florida, is very strong. And that right now we have numbers that we can show you. We have the data that proves that we have certain days on market, we can get it done. So definitely put your house on the market. And then for buyers, if right now you qualify, then yes, interest rates are low, right? You qualify. And of course, some buyers feel like, well, there may be, an economic or a housing downturn, let's say, and I may get a better deal down the road. Well, you may, but you also may not qualify. So sure, you could take that chance. I don't foresee a big drop in market value in our area because we're not going, and this is not just in our area, but a lot of areas, we're not going into this market with a ton of inventory. We are going into summer and into this market and through COVID with less houses than we have buyers. So I do think that it's a good time to buy. I think if you find a house that fits what you're looking for and the interest rate works for you, definitely snag it up.
Well, I often tell my clients that Sumter County is a great place because there's tremendous value there. Just beautiful acreage that can be purchased at prices that you can't touch in, Lake County and Orange County. I think there's a huge upside in that market too. And I think that because of the villages, which we're going to talk about next. And I think that about as Tampa sprawls, as Orlando sprawls, people are working closer and closer to our Sumter locations. And it is true that it's one of those places that you can still have that old Florida feeling, right? You can still go to the post office and know folks, but at the same time, have an easy commute to work and then enjoy incredible beauty, huge oak trees. And people don't know. If you haven't been to Sumter County, they don't. It's a hidden gem. And what you and I know is we've seen how there's been huge change in that market. And I just am forecasting, again, because of the urban sprawl and because of the infrastructure, it's only going to be more and more desirable. So now let's talk about the villages, because so many of my clients want to talk about the villages. What's happening there that you think is going to have a positive impact on Sumter County as a whole?
So I am not born and raised in Sumter County. So probably the way that maybe some of, obviously whenever there's development in a rural area, there's a little bit of heartbreak over that.
Sure.
So families have been here for generations and generations, and I respect that. That's why it has the history that it has.
Right.
But with how things change, obviously that development is coming and it's already, the villages own property all the way to Center Hill. So that's Right. Yeah. That's, very close to your market, I
Right.
mean, that's a hop and a skip over to Mascot, Groveland, Claremont, right to you. So granted, that plan is, what, a 10-year plan or something like that, although they always move a little quicker than they say they're going to.
Yes, they do. And girl, we know how fast 10 years is going to be here. Like
No
10
joke.
years ago, I was still young.
I had to keep cutting my hair so that I cut all the gray off. So.
I have to keep coloring mine. I don't know what color it is, and I don't want to find out. Okay, so back to the villages.
So I mean, what they do is, so they really do provide great workforce for our community. I mean, there's incredible medical requirements, needs in the village community. I mean, we have 110,000 people that need to eat, shop, plant their plants, go to the doctors. Right. And so all that provides a great workforce for our people right here, and that's what we have already. So imagine 10 years worth of growth, 900 acres worth of development. Yes, I know it's hard for some people to be okay with that. And I respect that. Obviously I don't take that lightly, but it's going to keep bringing jobs and money into our economy. And I know that that's going to not sit well with some folks in our area. And I do say that respectfully.
I know, I get it. No, listen, I'm with
but
you.
But it lets our kids, and, I don't have any kids that were born and raised in this area either, but it lets the children, have jobs right here where their families are. Right. And I think that's really powerful and important. So I think that they're a big driver for us.
Well, and I think that they're, as you say, they have this 10-year plan that's probably going to be shortened. Again, nobody can promise anything, but that makes it another reason why Sumter County is a great place to invest.
For sure. Right now, right now we have, so I always tell people that it was a good thing that the last housing crisis kind of happened when it did. Because we were on a development craze, all of Sumter County, the south end of Sumter County. I mean, there was just speculators all over the place buying up land, and they were going to do all these small little subdivisions, and then the market crashed. Right. They all left. And I think that period of time gives me goosebumps to think about it, because our market would look so different. It gave the county an opportunity, and the residents and everybody an opportunity to say, where do we want this growth? Where do we not want it? What's it going to look like? Where do the roads make sense? Where do they not? So trust me, it was not a good time back in 07 and 08 and all that.
Don't die.
But it gave an opportunity to have a little bit more planning, because it was just happening too fast.
Just put a little pause on it.
It put a little pause. And so now, I mean, that's all land that's still there, that is, it's available for development, whether it's going to be more age-restricted communities or the subdivisions that employ the people that work there. I mean, it's a bunch of empty space. So yeah, if you buy 10 acres right now for $120,000, do you know how many houses you can get on 10 acres? A lot. So, I mean, one day, not deep in off of a county road or something. Obviously, it's got to make sense, for development. But yeah, it's a good place to invest.
Well, and I think, I'm working with some developers who are putting in some projects in Sumter County. And I think they're being smart and responsive to what a modern market needs. I know of one development that's going in that's going to be a kind of basically like a tiny home community. I know there are other townhomes going in there, and a regular single family residential. So it feels to me like it's a happening place. And it feels like it's a great place to buy, whether for investment or, again, you want to take advantage of the opportunities to have acreage at an affordable price. So if somebody is interested in Sumter County real estate, how do they get a hold of you, Connie?
So the easiest way, I think, is to call our office. Our office, and do you want me to give them the office number?
Yes, please.
Okay. The office number is 352-569-0233. And because we do property management, then our phones are answered 24 hours a day. Because, of course, the toilet always breaks at 3 a.m.
Only at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And if for some reason the phone's not answered, it goes immediately via text message to myself, my property manager, and my business partner. So 3 people get a text message the minute a voicemail is left at this office. So I think that's the Ooh, we got a lot of protection, you know. I think that,
Can people meet with you virtually like this if they're a little anxious yet about COVID?
yeah, virtually. We have an awesome picnic area in the back, which is where we've been doing our closings. So we can meet in person. I'm wearing a mask in public, you know, only to make sure that the customers feel safe. We can meet virtually. They can text, all of it.
Great. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to share your expertise. I am honestly seeing, based on my side of the business, I'm feeling we're going to have a great summer.
Yeah.
I think maybe the third week of March, we were wondering a little bit, but it seems to have loosened back up. And I think people are seeing the values in our area. And so I'm really feeling positive. And Sumter County especially is a great, great place to buy. It's a great place to raise your children, retire. It's just a beautiful community. So I really recommend it to those listening who've never checked it out, who thought it's just a, you know, something that must be too much in the old times. It's really not, because there's a tremendous availability of services and restaurants and all of that, combined with just the beautiful rolling acres and you know, oak trees. So if you haven't checked out Sumter County, give Connie a call. She'll be glad to tell you everything you need to know about Sumter County, more than probably you need to know, but it's in her head. She wants to share it. She loves real estate. Also, for those of you that work with Spanish speaking clients and you need some help, or if you're a Spanish speaker and that's your preference, Connie is absolutely positively fluent in Spanish. And I'm going to let you say a nice goodbye in Spanish, because I think it's such a beautiful language. And then repeat yourself in English, please, for those of us who
man. Oh, that's really putting me on the spot. Okay. Muchísimas gracias, Meredith, por dejarme hablar hoy sobre algo que de verdad yo tengo mucha pasión. Me encanta el condado de Sumter y me encanta vender bienes raíces. Y para poder hacer las dos cosas aquí mismo, de verdad que no puedo imaginar hacer otra cosa. So what I said was, thank you, Meredith, very much, because my passion is real estate, and I am lucky enough to get to do it here in Sumter County. So to be able to get to do what I love to do and where I love to do it is a true blessing. And I'm very grateful for it.
Amen. Amen. All right. So I will be talking with you soon. I know this is a topic of interest to people. And so let's do this again in a little bit, and we'll see how the summer's rocking along, and give everybody an update.
Sounds great. Thank you, dear.
Okay. See you then.
Bye.
Thank you so much.